Well, as these tiresome wokies wail about Trump being unbanned from Twitter and half-wit excuses for journalists fail the irony test and would have failed my employment test if I was still at the Mirror, real free speech champions are putting their lives on the line for the truth every single day. Palestinian reporter Shireen Abu Akleh was shot and killed today while covering an Israeli raid in the West Bank. The Al Jazeera correspondent, who's also a US citizen, was hugely respected. She's reported for decades on flashpoints in Israel and Palestine, bravely crossing between both sides to report uncomfortable truths about a complex and emotive conflict. She was wearing a press badge. Journalists like Shireen are the reason why we understand the world. George Orwell himself wrote vividly about the Spanish Civil War. A free press is the reason we know that Putin is a genocidal war criminal, while millions of brainwashed Russians in a country where journalists get murdered for their job think he's saving Ukraine from Nazis. Several journalists have already been killed in Ukraine covering the war. Many others are out there right now risking their lives to bring us that truth. Now, you might be tempted to think that a free press can be taken for granted in 2022, but it can't. The facts show it's in decline. It's time we began fighting much harder for it. More and more countries are gagging reporters. Many use the pandemic as an excuse to muzzle journalists on the bogus pretext of protecting public health. And according to UNESCO, a staggering 85% of the world's population lives in a place where press freedom has been restricted in the last 5 years. And ironically, by their own measure, the last time press freedom plummeted to these depths was 1984, the very title of George Orwell's iconic novel.